Welcome to the Side Hustle tier list. In this video, I'm going to be exploring these side hustles and letting you know if these make sense to do in 2024. Now, I won't be able to cover every side hustle out there, so if I happen to miss any, let me know and I'll do a part 2. And without further ado, let's begin. Dropshipping is simple. You make an Amazon listing or a Shopify website with a product that you think will sell well. And when you get a sale, you redirect the product from Alibaba, sometimes it can be Amazon itself, to the customer's address, and you pay the money for the product and you get it shipped to the customer. So now you have money, but the problem is this is very stupid because it goes against a lot of principles that Jeff Bezos himself laid out. Customers want cheap products and they want them fast. Dropshipping goes against both of those principles, and honestly, there's way too many people in this hustle to let you make money. You need to research a lot, you need to get on things quick, and you may have like 2 or 3 weeks of a good product sale until some other idiot jumps on it and then there's like 1,000 of them. And most of the time with dropshipping, you end up falling into the rat race of review fraud and trying to buy good reviews from customers. It really isn't worth it. You're basically going to lose a lot of money doing this, and you're probably not going to be able to convince many people to give you a good review. And you may go through all of that just for Amazon to make their own generic version of whatever product you're selling and put in the Amazon's Choice tag on it and essentially making their own money off of it. And that's why I'm putting this into the D category. Just because it isn't a complete failure of a side hustle, but it can very quickly become a main hustle or just fail. A lot of people can spend a lot of time looking for items and trying to stay ahead of the competition. It just has a lot of issues. It's probably just best to make your own brand instead of this, or just not even do this. Our next topic is courses, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. Now, courses are kind of an interesting thing because they're half a scam and half not, but also half a scam that you get scammed in and then you scam others in. Let me explain. Essentially, you're going online and you're looking at someone who seems smart, successful, and they say, hey, you can be just like me if you take this course that I made, but only for today. I'm not going to be selling it tomorrow. Of course, they're always selling it tomorrow. Now, people like Tai Lopez or Andrew Tate create these courses that are meant to inspire you and be like, hey, you can get fast cars, women, and money. At the end of the day, it's just a scam. I mean, Hustlers University or whatever it is just going to give you generic information that you've already heard of. And Tai Lopez's courses sometimes costed up to $7,000. So what ends up happening is a lot of people learn this. And what they end up doing is they think, hey, you know what? I can make a course too, and I can make a lot of money selling it. The problem is that what ends up happening is you get into an oversaturated, and I mean a very oversaturated market, and you don't really have the resources to compete with the other people in this market, like Tai Lopez, like Andrew Tate. You don't have the resources to market it as well as these guys do because they started off scamming a lot earlier than you did. These people destroy their image, nobody respects them, and if you're trying to sell a course, you're also going to destroy your image. So probably just stay away from this whole course thing. It's not good for you and it's not good for the people who you're going to be scamming potentially. And I'm putting courses into the D category mainly because it's a vicious cycle of failure and leeching money from stupid people ages 15 to 50 who want to be rich. Once in a while, one of those people, quote unquote, graduate and make their own course and start to continue the cycle of destruction and continue this vicious cycle. Don't do it. Don't be moronic. Don't be evil. Next, we have something that a lot of us have heard of and probably also gotten into, which is crypto trading. What ends up happening with crypto trading is that you're in a very volatile and stupid market. Let's say you bought a bunch of SafeMoon and you're like, you know what? I'm going to hold it for a month or two and I'm going to make a lot of money. And you know what? If you bought it the day it came out, you definitely probably made a lot of money. But if you held it for any longer than a couple of months, you would be rug pulled. They just declared their 5th bankruptcy. And then there's also stupid coins like Shiba or Inu coin or whatever, these Musk coins. The point is it's all volatile and stupid. Unless you got in early on, let's say Bitcoin, Ethereum, even Dogecoin in some places, you really are getting rug pulled. So just don't crypto trade. Probably stay away from crypto in general, because it's a very underregulated, oversaturated market. And remember, the word oversaturated comes up many times in this video. So if you can count them and comment below, I will love you forever. So I'm putting this into the F category. Honestly, I'd put this into the Z category, mainly because day trading and stupid stuff like crypto trading doesn't work 90% of the time. It's a rug pull for most of these meme coins, these dumb coins, whatever you want to call it. It leads to bankruptcy and basically people lose all their belongings. This truly belongs in the sub-tier list, like tier list that is going all the way down to Z, maybe even Z minus or Z minus. I don't know how you pronounce it. If you're enjoying this video, please subscribe. Thanks. Food delivery apps, or any delivery apps in general. You could do Amazon delivery, you could do the Walmart one, I think there's one like that. You could do DoorDash or Uber Eats. Essentially what it is it's easy to get set up. All you need is a license and a car. Now the car part is a little expensive, but maybe you could borrow one. But the good thing about this one is that it's available in most large communities, but you need to have a bit of patience to understand when you should go out there and start delivering and stuff like that. Now with something like Amazon, they usually give you a set time to do this. I don't know if they're still running their program, but it used to be decent money from what I remember. It can be slow to start this thing, but you can eventually learn what times are good. Like for example, with food delivery, it's the weekend times that are really good. With, Amazon, I think any time is good, but you need a car that can fit a lot of stuff in, so you probably don't want a small car. Now, when it comes to a lot of these apps, they're not going to make you a lot of money. The problem is the market is usually filled with a lot of people trying to do the same thing, and you need to be doing this for a little while in order for the app to give you the better timings and stuff like that. So it's slow, but it's good money up front. All right, food delivery, I'm putting in the B tier, and delivery in general, mostly because you have to physically do this one. It can be an A because it's not actually a passive income that you do on the side or let it just grow for you. It's a great little thing to do if you're low on cash. It can help you pay some bills, make some extra cash, buy something nice like that burger or whatever. So this is going to the B tier. Next is copywriting. Now this is actual work that people do, but it is kind of scammy. So let me explain. Alright, so copywriting is essentially a lot like courses where you're trying to force people into buying something. Now, what ends up happening is if you're a copywriter, you're mostly working freelance for YouTubers or websites or companies that really want somebody to create a coherent, good piece of writing for them. So what ends up happening is you're trying to sell a product for a company or a YouTuber or whoever. You're not really making money off the product. You're making a salary or just like a fee for writing for someone else. Now, I'm going to be honest, you probably don't have the skills to do this, and if you do, please go write a book or be more productive. Write YouTube essays, write school essays, go back to college. Copywriting is a very oversaturated market. You're not going to be good at it, and it's going to take years before you actually get really good at writing something convincing. It's sales. Come on. You can make a lot more money being a car salesman. Look it up. They make a lot of money if they're good. So to be completely fair, I'm putting this into the C category mainly because it teaches a valuable skill of writing and selling. While it may be oversaturated like your grandma's bingo club, it can be a career for certain talented individuals. But please, if you're that talented, just be a YouTuber who makes documentaries or a guy who writes books. I mean, come on, you have a lot more potential here. Rather than being a lackey for these big companies, it's just dumb. Don't do this, please. Next, we have something that I've seen a lot of people get into, and that's faceless AI YouTube channels. Now, this is great and all, it makes a lot of money, but it is trash. It is ultimately mega trash on YouTube, and even YouTube has acknowledged it. They're starting to ban AI voices and AI generated videos. Why? Because it's all spam. It's a scam to the viewer, it's a scam to YouTube, it's a scam to the uploader at this point because YouTube is going to ban you. You don't have any skills because you're getting your script written by ChatGPT. Either you're just doing text on the screen with images behind it that are generated with AI, or you're getting some like weird amalgamation of footage from AI. What ends up happening is it's not coherent, it's kind of garbage, and you're wasting everyone's time. Oh, and the voices, we can tell they're fake. Seriously, I mean, everybody knows a fake voice from a real one, at least at this stage. We're not in the Ex Machina part yet. This one has to go into the F category because it just doesn't really work anymore. Why? Well, YouTube is banning all these channels, and honestly, they're all really just spammy trash. Even Kyle Hill, this amazing scientific YouTube channel, talks about these AI channels and how they're basically stealing videos from other YouTubers. Overall, it's an industry which is going to be destroyed very soon. Don't get into it, F tier. This leads me to my next section, which is just gig work in general. Now, gig work, again, is delivery stuff. It could also be Upwork or Fiverr. It could be a lot of other things. Like, you can find postings in your local newspaper, or I don't even know, like, just, in your local area, you can find postings for somebody needing somebody to be a busboy for a weekend, or somebody to come and clean for the weekend. These things are very one-off, but they're very good for quick income. Now, there is also a lot of hard work that goes into these things. Like, for example, if you're trying to be somebody editing videos on Upwork or Fiverr, you need to know how to edit. Same with the delivery stuff. You need to know how to drive. You need to have a car. And, in general, with the cleaning side, you can also learn how to clean pretty easily, but being good at it takes a while. So it's not bad, but it's low income because it's volatile. You don't always have a job available. So as a side hustle, it's decent, but it won't really get you a lot of money. But it is money you can make quickly. Now, this is going into the B tier. It's similar to food delivery and other side hustles like that, but it's open to a lot more things like graphic design, music production, editing, etc. You can make a lot of good money from this, and eventually it can become a main hustle. But it does require a lot of effort. It requires a lot of practice, a lot of skill. So it's not really the easiest one to do. B tier. Next is something that I can kind of respect, but you should never do and nobody should ever do because it's stupid, but I respect it for its honesty, which is straight up scamming people. Now you might think, hey, that's not a side hustle. Nobody does that. Trust me, this is a massive side hustle for a lot of people. Let's get into it. There are a lot of people standing on the street every single day looking for a buck. This is mostly in big cities like New York or Los Angeles or wherever. This is also includes stealing. I'm gonna add all that in, like San Francisco, people who smash the windows and grab. These things are very illegal. No one should ever do these. But at least they're honest with who they are. They'll go to jail eventually, but the point ends up becoming, you don't want to do this, right? Nobody ever wants to do this. Now, there's another version of this called online scamming, where you basically try to social engineer people into them giving you their money. Now, the problem with this is, if you're going to try to do this at all, first of all, don't. Second of all, you don't have the skills to pull this off. You're probably going to get caught. You're probably going to go to jail. You're probably going to regret it for the rest of your life. You're going to ruin your image times 10 worse than anything else on this list. And what's going to end up happening is you're just dumb. This one deserves to be in the F tier. Honestly, it's trash. But I'm putting it into the D tier mainly because scammers still exist all over the place, all over the world, and they will continue to scam until the end of time. They will make a quick buck, but they'll eventually be sent to prison. So don't do this. It's not worth the little bit of money you'll make. Alright, next is something that I really despise personally, and that is life coaches. You see, the problem with life coaches and people who try to become life coaches is you genuinely don't know how to lead a successful life. Most of them. What ends up happening is they aren't actually successful. They're mostly just scammers trying to make a quick buck by telling people how to do certain things. Like, for example, there is a lot of life coaches who think that they know a lot about marketing, but when you get into a meeting with them, their knowledge is more bare bones than a chicken on Tuesday. I don't know what that is. I hope I put a picture up for that. But anyway, basically, you don't have the life experience if you're anywhere under 40, and you probably don't have the success to do this if you don't have, a nice house, a nice car, a nice business. So don't sell this to people. And also, don't buy this from other people. Like, unless they're genuinely successful. Life coaching is a big scam. If it's for free, go ahead. If it's for money, stop ruining people's lives, VJ. So this one deserves to be in the C category, mainly because it isn't as prevalent now as it used to be. But there are those who still make money from this, and you know what? It can be okay money for some people, but it is failing. Now, our second one here is YouTube. And YouTube is a really good way to make money for people who are willing to put in a year or two of their free time to learn and produce good content on YouTube. And it's not just YouTube, it's really any social media out there that pays you for your content. So essentially, you all know this, YouTube is a website where you need a lot of people, a community or a lot of subscribers, whatever you want to call it, who can subscribe to you and watch your videos. But the good thing about YouTube is you don't have to do it full time. Like, for example, there are many channels on YouTube that upload once a month or maybe even once every 3 months. What happens is, however, the quality of the video needs to be good and the idea needs to be decent. You're going to need to find a niche that makes a lot of money. It could be real estate, finance, education, whatever you want, but it needs to make a decent amount of money, and then you need to be able to produce the content at a decent enough level to where people are going to want to watch your content, your video. So this one will take a while. It'll take you years to become good at it, but if you have any background in editing or filming, you're probably going to have a decent shot at it. Now this is good, but honestly, take it from me, it's a B tier. This isn't going to be something you can just jump into and pick up and start making money. No, you're going to need a lot of practice. You're going to have to work hundreds, if not thousands of hours to master your craft here. It deserves to be in the B tier, mainly because it's just not something that people can do very well. The upside is massive. You can make thousands, if not millions of dollars from this, but as as a side hustle, it really isn't the best thing. You do need to put in a lot of work, and in most cases, you'll be trying way too hard to please the quote-unquote scary algorithm. Now, next is something that goes all the way back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, whenever, maybe even ancient Rome. It's called lawn mowing. Now, this is, it sounds strange, I know, but all you need is your dad's lawnmower to go around and mow the lawn for your neighbors. Now, if you have an electric lawnmower, it's even better. Now, I know you're thinking, why am I even on here listening to this? Well, it's because this is easy money right now. And this can also work in the winter time if you live in a snowy area. You just need a shovel, really. You can go out there and make like 10, 20 bucks. You mostly do it for your neighbors or community people around you. But also, don't be bad about this. I had someone come up and tell my mom had 20 bucks. They said $10 for the lawn mowing. My mom was like, okay, just come by and do it for free next time because she's giving you 20 now. Well, that guy never showed up again. So don't do that. Be good to your clients. Now, this one doesn't deserve to be too high or too low. It's a C tier. It's a decent side hustle, but it's very labor intensive. And I know if you're watching this video, you probably haven't left your room in a week, so it really won't work for you. Maybe go outside and do something. Affiliate marketing. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is a scam. It's stupid. It probably wouldn't work. But hear me out. You see, for people who have a good amount of followers or audiences on TikTok, Instagram, whatever you want, YouTube, you can essentially sell your audience stuff that you see online. With affiliate marketing, you don't make as much, but so for you to make a profit, you need to be able to sell expensive items. So let's say you're a travel vlogger or something like that, and you want an extra little bit of income. What you can do is you can recommend cameras and equipment to people through an affiliate program on Amazon or whatever, and you can end up making a lot of money. So what would happen is, let's say you're selling a $600 camera. Well, you've made like $60. Now, don't quote me on this. I don't know the exact percentage they give you, but it's decent enough where I've seen some people make a lot of money from it. But also, you need to be able to have the audience and be good at finding affiliate products that people would actually want. This one is okay, but honestly, it doesn't really work as well as people would tell you. This one is going to be going to the D tier. It requires a very specific niche audience on social media, and people need to be willing to buy expensive things from your links for you to make money. So it doesn't work as well as you might think. It isn't an F tier because it does work for certain people, but not all. D tier it is. Next is garage sale flipping. Now, it's kind of similar to furniture flipping, but this is a thing I saw from Gary Vee a few years ago. This is where you make money over the weekends in summertime, where you go to a bunch of garage sales all over the city and you look for good items that you could flip online. So, for example, if you find like a Yoda mug from 1970, you could probably flip that for a few $100s, whereas the person doing the garage sale is probably some old lady who doesn't care, so she's probably going to sell it to you for $5. The difficulty here is, first of all, you need transport, so you can take a bus or something like that, but you also need to be able to find valuable items. A lot of places don't have that. You're going to be looking for a lot of things like old merch from movies, stuff like that, old clocks, old Monopoly sets, stuff like that. Sometimes you can find furniture type of things. Sometimes you can find whatever. It really is a treasure hunt. But Gary Vee recommended you look for mugs.
I like the mug life. Mug life.
This one is nice for people who enjoy making deals and haggling for prices and looking for things that many others don't need. It's going into the C tier because it's not for most people. People don't really want to hassle or argue for prices. It's just really tedious for certain people. It's not really the best for everyone out there, but if you're good at haggling and looking for the best price and then selling it later, it can be really good for you. Next is something that is very difficult but can make you a lot of money in the long term, which is door-to-door sales. Now, the good side is you can sell anything from a car to toothpaste to chocolate to basically garbage, but that's the really only upside. The downside is you're basically cold calling people to their face, and people find that very, 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 very annoying. So if you're doing this, you got to understand, you're going to face a lot of mean customers who are going to say, get off my lawn or get out of my property. If you're in Texas, be careful. And if you don't have anything good to sell that most people don't need, you're probably going to get yelled at. But the good thing is, if you do have something that people do want, like for example their windows cleaned or Girl Scout cookies or whatever it is, you're probably going to make a good amount of money with a couple of months of practice. So it's a lot of hard work, but you could make a lot of money in the long term. This one goes to the A tier mainly because you can make up to hundreds of dollars a day, maybe even thousands if you're good at this, but you need a lot of time to practice and learn. And honestly, there are easier ways to make money with actual sales jobs rather than going door to door in the sunny heat. And honestly, you need a lot of practice and you need a lot of effort to make this one work. But if it does work, you can make a lot of money. It should be in the B tier, but I'm putting it in A because, again, it's just a great money maker. Next is something that is crazy, but it also does work, and it's furniture flipping. This is an easy thing to do. You can find a lot of pieces of furniture all over Facebook Marketplace, all over eBay, stuff like that. They're for free, and people usually just want to throw them away. The annoying thing is, if you're not good with woodwork or upholstery or leather work, you're not really going to be able to sell it. You're just getting junk for nothing. See, the hard part of this thing is you need to have the skills to fix it. Now, if you can fix old furniture, you could sell it later for a couple $100, $300-$400 worth of profit. And if you do that 2-3 times a week, well, that's pretty much a job then. So it's not really a side hustle, but if you do actual woodwork in your regular life and you want to make some money on the side, I'm sure you could repair a couple tables or two over the weekend and make a couple $100. That's a great way to make money. But if you're not good at it, you're just collecting a lot of junk that you're going to have to give away to some other moron. Now, this one deserves to be a little higher, but it isn't because it is for those who are very skilled. And that's why it's going to the B tier. It's a great amount of money you can make. You don't have to bother anyone. It really is something you do on the side, but it does require years of experience to be good at. So B tier. Now, this is an interesting one, making stuff. And what do I mean by stuff? Well, think of it this way. Stuff is just things that people would find interesting. So, for example, if you're able to make great leather couches, people are going to buy your leather couches. Fine, that's a little too hard. What if you're able to knit a very nice sweater? Well, you can make that and sell it to people. I used to live nearby this old man who would make these beautiful bird houses and bird feeders. His garage would be filled with them and people would just walk up and buy from him. You see, if you have a hobby that you really enjoy and it produces a valuable product, you could easily sell it to a lot of people for a lot of money. So, for example, we can take the knitting example. You could even go into 3D printing. You could design cool products like a figurine or something like that people would want to get. Maybe a little statuette, something like that. You know, another one that's really good these days is keycaps for your keyboard. These things sell very well. Like this recent duck keycap, it was awesome. This rubber ducky type keycap. People are very into keyboards these days and they're always looking for ways to accessorize and make it cool. So if you can 3D print this, or let's say you can, I don't know if you'd be able to make it somehow, but if you could make this, you would make a decent amount of money. And the best way to sell these items would be on Etsy. You can make hundreds or even thousands of dollars per month. If you're just patient, if you're focused on your craft and building good products, people will definitely want to come in and buy from you. It's a very legitimate way to make a little bit of money on the side. Now, this one is going into the D tier. It deserves to be higher, but I'm trying to be honest in this video. It'll take you a long time to master this one. And honestly, it won't be easy to sell to people if you're not making good products. You won't be able to easily get 99 crafting in real life. It takes a lot of time and patience. So it's not for everyone, but for some people, it can make a lot of money. Honestly, this entry is pretty broken because it is so valuable in the world today that if you have this ability, you're probably going to make a lot of money in your life. And that is programming. So I know programming has evolved quite a lot over the last few years, going from writing the code directly to using templates to now generating code with AI. However, if you're able to properly build an app or a website and you know how to code very well, you can just make apps and websites for people or even for yourself and build an audience that would want to use your website or app. Now, it's not always easy to get a lot of people onto your platform. However, what you can do is sell your services to people. You can find a lot of people who are looking for coders all the time to build a website, build an app, and you can use your skills to help them build, for example, a little video game character that moves funny. You can even create templates for Unreal Engine. You can even create website functionality. There's tons of things you could do. Like, for example, I had a friend who used to make video filters for a up-and-coming social media app, and that would make him around $1,000 per completed contract. And it wouldn't even take him a long time. He'd probably be working on it for a week of part-time work while going to school. So you can easily make a lot of money if you know how to program, or if you're willing to learn how to program. This one deserves to be an A. Honestly, this is basically like having superpowers in real life. I mean, I've learned programming as well, and I know a lot of people who do know programming. It can make you a lot of money. People who can code well often make millions of dollars throughout their careers. You can learn this on the side side and eventually make this something worthwhile. It is a very powerful tool to have. A tier. This is good, real income. Now, what is this? Well, there is a side hustle that very few people know about. And this is a side hustle that has existed for thousands of years. Now, there are places that serve food, that sell products, that may provide services. They need people to come in and work for a set amount of time for a set amount of income. Usually this income can be paid to you for an amount of sales, for an amount of hours worked, and this is called a salary. And a salary comes from a job. That's right, everyone. My number one side hustle is having a job. Get a job. If you're watching this video and you're looking for a side hustle and you don't have an actual job, get a job, dork. Get a job. At this point, this is the best way for you to make money. You just go in, work maybe part-time even. Let's say you're a lazy schmuck, work part-time at a restaurant, work part-time at Walmart, work anywhere. What's going to end up happening is you're going to get a decent amount of money on the side, and you're going to be able to spend that on stuff that you like. Stuff like, hey, you could take that part-time college course now. Or, hey, you could buy that burger that you've been wanting for a long time. There's a lot of things you can do if you have a job. So the ultimate side hustle is actually having a job. Now, if you do have a job, that probably makes sense to you. But if you don't have a job, that probably doesn't make sense to you. And if it doesn't make sense, go find a job. You'll thank me later. This is the only thing that I can put into the S tier, to be honest. Most of you lazy, fat morons watching this video probably don't have a job. So for those people, you don't need a side hustle. You need a main hustle. Also, go take a shower. I know you probably haven't bathed in a week, so please do your family a favor and get some help. Get a job, please. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe. I love you.